How are you not hot?
You don't think I'm hot, Jackson?
Oh, so... Jesus.
Hello, welcome to the JDPC, the Jack Davolio Photo Chats. Here we are. This is a brand new podcast. This is Jack Davolio. And I'm going to be interviewing some bloody legends in photography, mostly wedding photography, I guess. And this is aimed at fellow photographers, and I can just imagine you editing or going for a walk and hopefully getting inspired, maybe learning something new and getting to know your fellow photographers. As you know, we're all colleagues, we're in the same industry, we're all in this together, and we know what it's like. Sometimes it gets a bit lonely, you know? You don't really work together as much as people do in other jobs. But hey, I am so excited to share this convo I had with Jackson Grant. He's an absolute gem of a human. His work speaks for itself. Ah, what a legend. He's literally got confettis on his website. Go check out his website. It's full of confettis, just like Floyd. I don't know. But hey, before we get right into it, I'd love to share a little message from our sponsor, PicTime. For delivering galleries, making blogs, slideshows, and reels, I use PicTime. I've been a photographer for over a decade, and I've tried a lot of gallery systems, and frankly, PicTime is just the best. PicTime makes it easy to set up beautiful galleries with an integrated store and automated marketing systems. You just set it up and bam! Your clients can buy prints directly from your galleries and have them shipped anywhere around the world. One of the latest new features is that PicTime now also supports videos. So it's video time now, baby. You can host long videos and short clips here and there to make your gallery come to life. When it's time to elevate your photography business, it's time for PicTime.
Now here's the deal, folks. You sign up to the code JDPC and you get an extra month for free. That's right, baby. 1 month on me.
Here we are today with Jackson Grant, everybody. Hello, welcome to my first attempt at recording some sort of audio podcast.
Oh, I might be the first one.
You're the first one, baby, and I'm so excited.
I just don't have the time to actually do my own podcast, so props to you.
I'd love to help out. Here I am. I have to say you're my absolute favorite photographer at the moment. I am such a fan. I am though.
Keep it in your pants.
Oh man. Okay, you guys can't see it, but it's getting hotter today.
It's getting
steamy. It's getting steamy. So, how are you doing?
We're good. We're surviving. The head is above water, I would say. Mm-hmm. Mid-season, definitely feeling it. I'm sure we all are. Being a bit more adaptive outside of work as well. Just really acknowledging that my life isn't fully devoted to work. And as much as I think it is, I take pretty vigilant breaks Monday to Friday and convey myself the value of seeing friends when often I'd want to on weekends. But yeah, just relishing in finding that balance, even though a lot of the time it feels very 80-20 versus 50-50.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Keeping up the work-life balance.
Yeah, trying, but we're all guilty.
Peak season.
Yeah, we're all guilty couch slubs sometimes, but yeah, feeling fruitful about the new year. No real new agendas in place in terms of wanting to do anything different with my work. Part of me thinks I'm just chugging along and I've still got my niche, which is working, but I'm trying to think, fuck, what next?
Nobody else does it like you do it.
I know.
Do you know anybody who does anything similar? Because I don't.
Yeah.
If somebody can't book you and they're looking for someone else, there's no alternative.
I know.
They're just like...
But you know, as an independent creator, you have that willingness to want to do something different. Like eventually you start conforming and just, or maybe not conform, but you stay in your lane and you don't really try new things.
Yeah.
And because you just think, oh, what's working is working.
Yeah.
That's, I
get
too wound up with all of that shit, and suddenly I'm like, okay, it looks like I've got to go to macro photography this year, or just do something completely different from what I'm currently doing. But yes, you're right. It's working. We're good.
I'd be excited to see where you end up if you try things differently, because where else can you go?
Where else can I go?
It's like you're out there trying all the new crazy shit that nobody else does it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. So there's a few things I wanted to ask you.
Here if you need.
Some things about, I heard your presentation at Way Up North. I thought it was amazing.
Firenze.
Yeah, and I want to dig deeper on some of the things you mentioned there.
Ah, yes. I have a card game actually, and there's a card in there called Dig Deeper, and you get to play it if you think that someone's not telling the absolute all that they could in that answer. And you can play it once during the game per person. And I'm like, let's dig deeper. I love that part of that game.
Let's dig deeper.
Let's dig deeper. Oh my
And,
gosh.
I
forget what I fucking said at Way Up North. So this will be scary and interesting and all of the emotions. Hit me.
I heard you dissing AI editing software.
Yeah.
And are you still not using anything like it, any culling editing AI assistant?
Yeah.
And is it because they're not good enough yet? Or is it some other reason? Like, do you love editing? Or do you want to do my editing too?
Fuck that.
Here you go, here's some editing for you.
There is a soft spot for particular parts of AI for sure, and I think we've come a long way, and we're obviously not going backwards anytime soon, but part of me thinks your job as a photographer is to curate a fitting mood, and I find that when you have that disconnect, suddenly AI doesn't just pick up on everything, and there's conversation about it always. But this is just in terms of culling programs, for example. There's always talk about, how will a robot know if they're going to get the exact millisecond that this side of a tear left a grandma's face or something, you know? It might just pick the most sharpest version of that, but not the most emotive one. And of course, you can go back and fix its mistakes, but then my OCD tendencies would probably think I'd be fixing their mistakes as long as I would if I was just culling myself from the get-go.
I see.
But AI is so great. I use AI all the time, just in
I've seen
different
it
parts.
for like editing things out. You love using generative AI. So you're actually, to me, you seem like you're at the forefront of that. Like you're actually using it as a tool and seeing where it can take you.
Yeah, I'm still making sure it aligns with my ethics and it's not too impactful on the final composition. But yeah, it's great in that regard. Can't help it.
Nobody can do it like you do it.
Yeah.
If there was an AI that could do what you're doing, I would be like, shit, that'd be impressive.
But it just stems from being so invested, on the actual day to the point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Safe shots, you've got to tick the boxes sometimes. But yeah, I'd hope that, this is obviously coming down to what we're talking about editing right now. But I think the first thing you're doing is actually thinking of your composition. A lot of people just walk in and do this reactively. So yeah, part of me thinks it's about doing deliberate pre-planning and then picking really obscure lens choices and then curating a fitting mood via Lightroom or whatever app you use. There's they're the three. It's not just rock up, shoot, AI, I'm fucking done. Yeah.
Do you ever cut out elements from one picture and paste them into another and do this collage way of creating your ideal image?
Yeah. But again,
with people in group pictures, do you ever?
I get them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my non-negotiables. You'll never see an exit sign or a doorknob or just something that doesn't actually need to be a part of an image or an iPhone. That's for sure. Which is so hard, actually.
Wow, they're
Photoshopping
everywhere.
an iPhone out of it.
Damn.
Oh my lord.
Unbelievable.
It's whack.
Wow. No, I've done it a few times in shooting group shots. There would be one person missing.
Yeah.
They can't find the guy.
Yeah.
We're fuck it, let's do the group. We do the group photo, and then later when we find him, I just make him stand right next to where the group was, and then
your dedication's better than mine.
everyone's around it laughing, look at him, and then we Photoshop him back in there, And
You think I'm the real MVP? I'm you're doing more work than I am. My God.
I thought you were doing that, but picking up people's worst expression on each group photo and picking the funniest face they make and then putting them all together, Because usually people do the opposite. They do
No, I'm telling them. I'm telling them to do those faces.
All right,
yeah.
amazing.
If you saw that BTS, it is hilarious.
Oh my God.
You can get a lot more out of people than you think, but still picking up on natural chemistry and body language is really important before going the extra mile and telling them to do weird shit.
I have to say, I love your clients. I'm so envious of your clients.
I love my clients.
I love my clients too, don't get me wrong, if any of you is listening, I love you guys, but I love your clients, and I'm like, it's so nice to see that they're out there, that there's so many people that are into what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love that it's popular.
Yeah,
I love that what you're doing is popular.
For sure. It's so, I love my clients too because it's dictated. I scare everyone else off, whoever the everyone else is.
Yeah.
It's so dictated by what I put out there. And that's your responsibility, again, to curate a fitting mood and weed out all the stuff that you don't want to see in wedding photography. Just don't publicize it. Yeah. And then suddenly you're going to get the freaks. You're going to get all the weird, freaks. But
we love the freaks, we love the weirdos, we love them.
Yeah, those sort of anti-Pinteresty couples that are very happy to it's almost my wedding on the day. I feel bad, but they're like, we trust you so much. I'm like,
your
oh,
wedding.
great, pressure's on.
I love that. Let's dig deeper in this, actually. At what point in the booking process, I mean, what are the ways in which you judge people by in the booking process?
Yep.
Is there a moment or a way in which you can tell, like, you're my people or not? Because
there are some prerequisites. Of course, it has to be like within my season. I'm not just going to take on something during my holiday break, and that's a privilege in itself. But look, it's the first 25 that come. I'm not going to be that selective unless it's in the middle of nowhere or it's like a really poorly lit venue that have treated me badly in the past. I'm not going to be really affiliated with that. But honestly, like I'm pretty grateful to be able to just say yes to the first 25 that I can take seriously.
Yeah.
Meeting with them is non-negotiable, and I got to say, like in the past, and I'm very happy to admit this, I have gone up to meetings with people, and usually if it's geographically possible, it'll be face to face.
Yeah, that's
if
always
not,
better.
just a Google Meet or something. Yeah. And we just don't gel, and I feel so bad, but what else are you going to do? You have to sort of create a white lie. It's happened maybe 4 times in my whole career, which it's so weird to call it a career. But yeah, I honestly, I come home and sit with myself and I'm like, will this be worth it? Because I'm not going to be in a good headspace. They didn't appreciate my art. They're the kind of people that just send you an inquiry that just say like, pricing please, like really emotionless.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I don't know if that answers it.
No, that's it. It sucks. I hate it when it happens. It happened to me too. For me, the way I can tell is when we have the meeting, if I can make them laugh, that's when I'm like, yes, I can work with you, you know? Yeah. If I don't get anything like a laugh, I start thinking of, okay, maybe this is not going to work.
And in two-way conversation as well, well, three-way conversation, if I'm assuming there's 2 of them, like my mind goes straight to thinking like, hang on, did the other partner get any say during that time? Like,
sometimes you just get one person talking, and the other one just, they're listening.
No. It's a threesome, baby.
It's a threesome. Everybody's going to be involved. Having threesome with your clients. Let's go.
I have stories, actually.
Oh, okay.
Not from me.
Are you willing to do this?
There are other photographers I know.
Can this be published? Is this where we cut it off? God.
I've heard some shit.
So yeah, people saying, I love wedding cakes, I love throwing bouquets, iPhones, it doesn't turn you off. So have you ever shot some photos that were so outrageous that you weren't sure if you should show the couple?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Have you ever seen a groom's dick? I have.
Wait. I'm trying to think. There's been a fair couple of weddings, not too many dicks though.
You're like, what can I share publicly?
A lot of side boob. Yeah. I get a lot of side boob, and that's accidental. I'm not looking for that, honey. Like, there's a lot of side boob for some. No, I don't think I've seen a groom's dick. And just interesting compositions. I've actually been. It's pretty safe, unfortunately. Like I look back and I photographed bridesmaids fainting and then brides fainting, and I'm like, well, do I shoot this or not? Like, will they actually want this shot at the end of the day?
Yeah, no, that's always tricky. When something crazy happens, you're like, my intuition is like shoot, but that sometimes you have to be discreet, you know. Sometimes you can cross the line into being, okay, that's actually inappropriate, you know.
And just, sometimes you put the camera over the top of the toilet door and just see what happens, and sometimes you get some funny shit, but other than that, it's like, I think because a lot of my stuff is actually, very happy to say, planned and deliberate.
Yep.
Like I risk all those preconceived compositions. So because of that, there's only certain parts of a day that I lend itself. Normally the ones where people are still, like speeches or ceremony, where I lend myself to being a bit more reactive to shooting.
Yeah.
But due to that, it's kind of just means that I don't often see too much. Yeah.
Okay. What do you listen to when you're editing?
Yes. Okay. Probably my favorite question ever. Music is 100%, I think a lot of my friends know this, part of my life. When I'm editing, music's really, really important. I think it allows me to get in this particular zone to edit something, whether it's really upbeat or emotive, just in terms of the photo composition, not the genre. But a lot of the time you'll find me listening to a lot of ambient subgenres, music that you like cannot dance to, which doesn't make sense if you compare it to my like wild, I guess, compositions that are vibrant and
I would have
chargy.
never guessed you're listening to ambience music.
I'm quite a recluse deep down. Like I really sort of hide away and shelter myself for the week after weddings because it just takes it out of you. But driving to a wedding, that's a whole other story. I have so many SoundCloud sets that I'll just be like,
you just
absolutely,
get pumped, you just go into a high energy seat. Amazing.
So there's a hybrid. For
Do you
sure.
ever listen to podcasts?
I actually don't.
All right.
It's weird. I can't get into them, and I'll listen to this one. I love the sound of my own voice. My God.
Yeah, you got to check this one out.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah,
great.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
I try, but I think, words, just especially when I'm editing, I need like drone soundscapes, real silence, but a lot of ambience I think suits me, yeah. It's odd, but it puts me into the zone, and sometimes it's to your detriment as well, because you blink and it's 9 p.m. and you're still on the computer because it's just such a long form sound.
Wow. I cannot relate to that. That sounds so not ADHD.
Yeah,
You can actually focus for a long time. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Unless it is ADHD and it's hyperfocus, I don't know.
Yeah, there are a few different
You know,
types.
you could get into that. But amazing that you get into that.
Yeah. What do you listen to when you edit?
I like listening to podcasts, a combination of podcasts and high energy music, mostly podcasts too.
Yeah.
I like to keep my brain stimulated so I can edit while I listen to
Someone
ideas,
talking.
debates. Yeah, I like all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Fuck, it's so
Yeah.
great to hear it, because we are just so, like, that would distract the fuck out of me.
All right.
Yeah, I'd be
I've
like,
people
no
that say
way.
that. I'm like, without it, I can't focus. I need like a certain amount of stimulation,
Yeah.
But I must confess, I've never once heard a podcast like this one. Never heard a photography-related podcast.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, there's a couple.
Yeah, there's
a
a
couple
bunch.
out
I'm
there.
sure there's a bunch.
Way Up North used to do them.
Yeah.
I think they stopped, but I used to, before even really knowing what Way Up North was, I just had them, I think the podcast was my first introduction to Way Up North.
Huh.
And they were so great, to be
Yeah,
honest. I
no,
remember listening to the ones with, like...
I've seen Lisa Devlin, Photography Farm. There's some really good ones out
Yes,
there.
I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was like 50 or so, and then just suddenly stopped, but yeah, maybe it was a COVID thing, I'm not sure.
Maybe if I had seen a podcast with you on it, then I would listen to that, because I want to hear what you had to say. But let's let me hit you with some more questions. So, how do you deal with guests flirting with you while you're working?
Shit, I don't know if that's happened.
It must have happened.
I think it
just
would
don't
have.
see it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get away from that shit. Flirting, nah, okay, slight pivot, but maybe more often than not, it'll be guests coming up to me that have seen me at another wedding. Like, it's rather, I feel like the population's smaller than we think in this wedding industry. But when they do, I'm like,
especially in the niche you're in, I guess.
yeah, you got to be kind, but I'm also like, I feel bad, but there's a couple of excuses up my sleeve to be able to try and pivot away from the conversation, because they just want to talk and they forget that I have a job to do. But the flirting thing, I don't particularly, I'm sure it's happened, but I just haven't actually been able to rewind and in my mind right now being like, oh no, that happened.
I had a funny one once. You know how we wear those like harnesses to hold the cameras?
Yeah.
A guest once came up to me and it was like, nice harness.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah.
yeah, it's nice, isn't it? And he's like, do you ever use it for other kind of
Yeah,
events?
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, no, actually.
Then I realized he
coincidentally.
was the father of the bride I was talking to.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Not bad. What's he hiding?
What is he hiding? What is he into?
But to be honest, I have had that same scenario happen to me from a groomsman, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah, the
like,
harness
and they
is
meant
sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I have sexy harnesses. Yeah.
That's why we buy them. You want to look good.
Two birds, one stone, eh?
Yeah. Talking about things that look good, I feel like a lot of people nowadays shoot with those cameras that look like film and don't really use the dials, but it just looks good.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it looks good. It's like, everything's kind of auto anyway.
Yeah,
but
like the ones that are kind of pocket-sized.
yeah, like the
or-
Fujis and stuff.
Yes.
I'm guilty of this, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm one
yeah.
of those people. But I saw you were using the new Godox flash that looks like a retro flash.
Oh, yeah, not sponsored.
Okay. Well, we're not sponsored yet. But Godox,
Yet.
if you hear this, please send us some money.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about it because
They're good.
Sorry, this is going to be a promise. The only gear-related question.
That's fine.
Just because, does it actually do anything different from a normal flash, or does it just look good?
No, absolutely. Okay.
Does it just look better?
To be honest, it is quite a hefty
actually?
motherfucker. Like,
Yeah?
it's heavy.
Is it really that
And
different?
the side attachment is like a little difficult to get used to, especially if it's on a harness and it's just sort of hanging off.
Yeah.
But the diffusion that comes with the, you know how it sort of has that
the
oval
little
shape?
umbrella.
Yeah, which is actually so cool to put together.
Yeah.
Because the diffusion comes outward, if you're using like a really wide flash without trying to get the vignetting, because of the circular, oh my God, I really should know this, the name for it, but the shell-looking thing.
Iris, whatever.
Yeah. Because that actually pops outward, you get a much more even spread of light from like left, right, bottom, top, all of that. It will still not be an absolute game changer, but at like 1.4 power, full daylight, f8, like getting techie here, but you're laughing. Like it actually goes a long way in comparison to like a 600EX speed
Is
light.
it much stronger, do you mean? Or just like
It's
bigger reach?
wider, bigger reach.
But much wider?
Yep.
And it looks like it should do that. It's much more,
Yeah.
kind of like a softbox, I don't know.
And like
Mini.
the fact, oh my God, this sounds so sponsored, but the fact that you can have USB-C charging.
Could be sponsored anyway. Got it, if you're listening.
Instead of batteries, I'm like, that was the icing on the cake for me. I'm like, yes.
You just charge it up.
It's great, and it's a bit of a flex. Like you look kind of cool when you've
It does look
got
cool.
it on, yeah.
Because that's the main reason I would buy it, to be honest.
But
Like,
it's heavy.
It's heavy. Oh, no, okay.
That's the one thing.
Me no like.
Ugh. Anyway.
Anyway, all right. No more gear questions.
Yeah.
Now, back to the crazy shit. So, I think you asked me this once, actually, or you said you thought I was the kind of guy that would do it. And the answer for me is yes, but I'm going to ask you again
Okay,
anyway.
I forget.
If you see an amazing moment, and for some reason, you know that in order to capture it, you would literally have to smash a lens. You would have to dive somehow, or I don't know, something needs to break.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
I mean, well, if it's life or death, I don't know, but...
Depends on the moment, I guess. I mean,
I treat my gear like shit, like deliberately, because I'm too obsessed with making that moment or actually finding it in good time that I'll throw a $2,000 lens on the grass and just hope for the best. But there's a time and place to ask people to repeat things if the moment's there, and a lot of the time it's guilt-free, but if it's an emotional situation, I'm not going to hijack that and ask them to do it a second time.
Whenever Jackson is selling his gear, do not buy it.
Yeah,
I repeat it,
genuinely.
you heard it here first. Do not
Actually,
buy his second-hand gear.
I just upgraded, this is going to be a shock, I was on the A7 III Sonys for maybe 8 too many years, and they were just, honestly, they're such a good camera, like they do the job. I should have just honestly bought those same bodies again. Like it was more than enough, I knew them back to front, but I just upgraded.
And what happened?
Oh, no, well, you can actually, a lot with the company that I went to upgrade, you can trade in your old camera bodies for partial money, like whatever they'll take for them, and they didn't take any
They look at your stuff and they're like, this is completely worthless. It's not even the materials, like the metals in it.
Oh, it's shit. And it just goes to show that's the sign of a good photographer. I'm not going to take care of gear, which is, it sounds bizarre because like it's the one work tool that we have. Yeah. Oh, I'm like, no, I'm too obsessed.
I love it.
Throw that shit around.
Your gear is worthless.
Yeah. It's like, people say all the gear, no idea, but if you flip it, it's like all the idea, hardly any gear. Like, that's the thing. It's like,
all the ideas, hardly any gear.
Yeah.
I have a fun question for you here related to this. Imagine
the company?
Imagine the company, not sponsoring us yet, but imagine if you're listening, please get in touch. If by some random force of nature, force of God, whatever you want to call it, event, all of your gear gets destroyed. You're in the middle of a wedding and you have two options. Somebody hands you like Morpheus in the Matrix. Gives you, do you want to have
Haven't seen
an
the Matrix.
iPhone? Do you want to have an wait, that's it. You have two options. Do you want an iPhone 14 or 3 disposable film cameras? And that's what you choose one, and you can shoot the rest of the day with one of the two options. What do you choose?
Well, I guess the iPhone would have more storage, therefore more photos. I've never really taken photography seriously on a phone, so that's new to me. But I also haven't taken photography seriously on a disposable. Crap. Fuck.
We got him.
We got him.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. The intended purpose, I mean, okay, it's a fast-paced day. Yeah. If there's no quantity involved. Am I limited to how many photos I need to take? Does the contract of providing 300 photos minimum go out the window? Or
forget about it.
Okay.
It's like unrelated.
So they're happy with whatever.
Whatever. They know it's an emergency. They know there was no other option. They're not going to blame you if you only come up, 30 more photos.
Yeah. Disposable.
Disposable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
There's
interesting.
Just something about.
Because something about the limit, right? And isn't it like you only have X amount of photos?
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with settings. It's one click.
Well, is it a half frame disposable?
No, that's not good. I know you're not so much into it. Yeah, you were saying earlier that's half frame, not so good. All right. Would you ever want to get married yourself?
I've thought about it. It's interesting. I think at the moment I'm so self-sufficient with work, and I know that this is like an absolute cop-out. But at the moment I feel like I'm constantly third wheeling with all of these strangers, and that is such a demanding job that if I was to put a foot in the sand and depart from wedding photography or drastically dampen down the amount of gigs that I do, then I would be able to put more time into somebody else. But I think as a queer male, I've found liberation in just sporadic encounters and not constantly looking to cement something down with one other person, not discounting any other people's version of happiness by any means. But at the moment, I'm just pretty tucked up at home. I'm good.
You're good.
The whole down the line though,
I was hoping you'd say yes, because I would love to hear what would it look like.
Yeah,
what's your
what would the wedding look like?
You've seen some crazy shit.
It'd
it would be epic.
It'd probably be in a backyard with paper plates and sausage rolls.
Amazing. Wow.
I've seen it all.
With sausage rolls and paper plates.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but it's a huge question. I could really dig deeper, I suppose. But for the most part, at the moment, I'm pretty tied up in everyone else's.
So it's like
tying the knots.
Yeah. Okay, so if any potential clients are listening, please stop getting married so you can give Jackson some space.
Yeah, come on, give me some time.
Come on.
God.
Just give him a break.
Jeez.
It's
It's fruitful though, especially seeing somebody, you get some really heightened emotions through the form of vows and off-the-cuff speeches. There's a really great sense of deservability with everyone in the room listening to that so publicly. That's Australian wildlife in the background. So there's so many components of the whole constitution of marriage that I would probably roll my eyes over, but then there's so many other things that couples bypass, and they really just prioritize championing everyone under the one roof. And that's what I love about a wedding. My 30th is coming up, and I'm kind of treating that like a weird love letter to myself, like a wedding to myself, because part of me is like, this might be the biggest gala that I'll have in another 10 years. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you got a photographer for it?
Hey, no,
Are you hiring a photographer
I'm
for it?
Photos are banned for this.
No photos.
We're going to get up to all kinds of
break.
shit.
You just
Stickers on the back of the phone.
Okay, like a club in Berlin.
Yeah.
Keine Fotos here, nine photos, no. Okay, I love it. No photos at Jackson's wedding in the future. It's going to be one of those wild events in the backyard with paper plates and sausage rolls. And
we'd have to.
Love it.
We'd have to.
Suppose you were getting married sometime in the future. You have to choose a wedding photographer.
Okay.
Unless you already know somebody that you think, I would definitely go with this person.
Yeah.
What would your process be like? Imagine putting yourself in
Thank God you didn't ask me who it would be, because there's just too many favorites.
Right. I used to feel like that until I saw your work.
Oh, you stop it.
It would have to be you.
Smitten as fuck.
If it ever happened, I'm far
Sorry,
from
I'm
married myself. I'm sorry, I'm busy that day. No, I'm curious. If you put yourself in the shoes of a client, what would your process look like in finding out what kind of photographer would suit you? How would you go about it? What questions would you ask? What would you want to know from you know what I mean?
I'd want to know if they have shot a wedding before, and if so, how many, because...
And if they say yes, you're not hiring them.
Well, kind of. I feel like getting somebody, throwing them in the deep end. I remember my first ever wedding was obviously like that, didn't know a thing that was going on, and I treated it so differently. I was like a kid in a candy store, and I feel like I would want my photographer to have that exact same feeling. just to go wild.
Wow.
Because a lot of these things lend themselves to chance, as organized as timelines are and everything like that. So much of it gets thrown out the window, and I would probably just want someone to roam around and guilt-free miss moments, but get better ones and off-the-cuff ones.
Those like random, spontaneous, like fresh-eyed, like weird shit.
Yep.
Amazing.
Maybe not, like Lucas Wabowski, he's one of my favorite photographers. Just the way that he shoots individual subjects and two people together. I take a lot of like nods to the way that he composes people. I feel like he would definitely be a game changer to see in a wedding format. My God. Yeah, just throwing someone in the deep end, I think, rather than someone that's been doing it for 10 years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like you maybe find somebody from a completely different industry, maybe not even a photographer. You're just like some crazy person that you think this wild. Like
It's
you just
strange. It's, I don't know. It's just where the influences stem from, I guess. I don't
Interesting.
know. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. For all the photographers here listening, our dreams are shattered right now. We're all collectively feeling sad that we're not even going to be considered.
Don't worry, guys.
Doing it for a while.
I'm not getting married anytime soon. We'll be fine.
I have an interesting question. I think you might
I think they've all been interesting questions.
Thank you.
I feel bad. This is a very one-way street. I'm like, I need to ask you questions.
Don't worry about me.
This
I'm
is
just
my
interviewing
podcast.
here. Yeah, you can have me on your podcast if you start one. I'd love to. This is Jackson time. This is Jackson's podcast. All right. If you hire him to shoot your wedding, it's his wedding.
It's my wedding now. Sorry.
So, I don't want to imply or suggest that anyone should try and haggle you for your prices.
Yeah.
Okay, so putting that out of the way, because you're so fucking worth it. If I've ever seen anybody that makes me want to scream, take my money, take more please, it's you and your work. So fucking yes. Okay, but if somebody came to you and said, look, we absolutely love your work, we fucking love it, we're obsessed, it's amazing, we want you, but our budget is, you know, few $100 shorts or whatever.
Yep.
And on the other hand, we're doing this thing that we think you are gonna love.
Yeah.
Would you consider it?
Yeah, I do 3 times a year, and one gig I actually do completely for free.
Intentionally?
Yeah, intentionally. I call it like my sort of passion-y project. I feel bad saying this in front of couples that are probably listening to this that I've photographed before. I'm like, oh, don't you wish you were them? But
No, because they're happy to pay you.
they're happy to pay me.
You have to realize people want to pay you as
Yes,
well, you know, and they want you to feel appreciated
Correct.
and
yeah.
valued and have a good life, and you know, and
Definitely.
you need money to survive. And
Yeah.
that's how I'm gonna feel when I'm gonna hire you one day in the future.
I'm wrapped.
All right, but go on.
And
Sorry.
but you hear stories, and I think a lot of the inquiries, you get all different types of them, of course, but if you really go the extra mile, like once a year, especially if it's like in the off season, I'll try and just do one cheeky one. My mind just goes straight to thinking like, okay, let's put more money back into this, and on the actual day, I'll use my own money to bring in lighting designers, and in the past I've had costume designers. It's a lot of work, and doing that in a way that doesn't stampede. I know it sounds very production heavy all of a sudden, but
It really is your wedding.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll do it for free, but it's my wedding then, and it's on my terms.
But it's great for a folio refresher, I
Yeah.
think. You're still
Folio
doing
refresher.
you're still doing it with them and their stylistic preferences in mind.
Yeah.
But once a year, I definitely can understand my own value and what that is worth. But it's a privilege to be able to say that, yeah, 1 gig a year, if we can make it a 2-day thing, or you're happy to see one another the day prior and we can play dress ups or whatnot. I pick out locations that are meaningful to them, and I hire out venues or whatever. Imagine doing that at every single wedding. I would go insane.
Wow, yeah.
But it's great, and I make a really strong effort to do that, just based on what people give me. You know, if it's a very exciting and off-the-cuff story, like down my alley, let's go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I forget the question, but I feel like
I love it. The question was whether you would consider giving a discount if somebody's doing stuff that you actually want.
Oh, yeah.
And your answer was, yeah, up until the point where you would actually do it for free, but then you get to do more of the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. That's really interesting that you do that. You take it to the extreme further than I thought.
Yeah, it's...
I was considering having a list on my website of things I want to see and a price tag, like
True.
discount.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like foot fight, $500 off.
Yeah,
You know,
nice, nice.
married on an island. You know, yeah, stuff like that.
It's just interesting because I remember when like the same-sex legislation passed in Australia, there were photographers, irrespective of sexuality, that were offering discounts to same-sex couples, and I at that point didn't even know how to feel about that. It just kind of felt initially a bit objectifying because they just want a same-sex couple on their portfolio. So the way that I see it, I think I can still, it's a very different scenario, but I can definitely see my self-worth, and I definitely know when to draw the line and not abuse that. But yeah, I'm pretty guilt-free about it. Yeah, I'm rapt to be able to fall into my own a bit more and treat it like a Year 12 art project. Yeah.
I love it. But I can imagine a potential client could listen to you saying this and actually tell you, look, we love your idea of you get your ideas in there, you know, make your Folio refresher dreams come true.
Yeah.
But we still want to pay you.
As long as you're dealing with someone that actually is like a shit giver, then I think it's money well spent, for sure. But yeah, just know that you're not, obviously, that's why the fee is to the naked eye, especially from someone that's not from a creative industry.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
And sounds like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I can appreciate that as well.
Age-old convo.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of photographers I know, after doing this for a while, sort of end up.
And you know a lot of photographers.
I know a lot of photographers, baby.
You get around the way up north.
I get around. I know a lot of photographers.
And you are way down under right now.
I'm way down under. Way down south.
Wait, yes.
That would be the equivalent of way up north in Australia.
Correct.
Way down south. We're way down south, everybody.
We can start, but you can put that at the start.
Okay, let's put it start. We're way down south. This is not a conference. So I know a lot of photographers that after doing this for many years, they sort of end up shooting more sort of high-end weddings and get into the more luxurious wedding side of the industry.
Yes.
And just because there's a bit more money involved and they refine their craft and they can get paid more, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
You're an expert, you know, your craft, I think you should get paid more and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe, it's just my intuition, I think you have a resistance to that.
Yeah.
Is that right? Like you?
I'd run for the hills.
Yeah.
like they're not
I
going to get
don't know how.
me.
I just had an intuition. I just had this feeling.
This is going to be pretty damn generalized, but I think the weddings with the regal ballrooms and the veils that go all the way back to the front door, you don't know what you're stepping into. And I would, again, hate to discount anyone else's version of happiness, but I can almost say every single gig that I've done that sort of hits that category, and you don't know enough until you're there on the day and you're like, oh shit, this is a bougie one. Okay, here we go. Everyone's dressed to the nines. It's just
why am I here?
But it's just not going to translate. And I think that's why I don't showcase any of that. I just don't book those couples.
Yeah.
And that's not even choice driven. They just don't come my way.
Fair enough. I mean, I'd be surprised if one of those Bougie Weddings wanted your style.
I know.
But that'd be cool, you know. I mean, I would love that.
See, the European gigs and the landscapes, I've always seen my taste like just skyrocketing in terms of the landscape over there. But it's all these couples that fly over, and I mean, look, there's all different forms of weddings that have, especially in Belgium. They're doing some crazy shit right now. I'm loving some of the weddings that are coming out of Belgium. But I see all of these like Lake Como-esque venues that I don't even want to know how much they cost, and then you've got the dress to match and all this stuff, and I'm like, fuck, wouldn't that be so sick just to document once? But part of me is like, I've got my thing going down here, and I'm doing really well. Yeah. Like, yeah.
And I hope
I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm happy to hear that.
It's wow.
Because I want you to know what it looks like from the outside.
Yeah.
Because you got an amazing thing going on here.
Yeah.
And we from Europe were like, oh fuck, we wish we had those crazy people you got in Australia. You know, they're nuts and they got money. And off that, I love it. It's some dream clients.
Yeah.
You do crazy shit with them. I love it.
Yeah. Maybe the Aussies are just a bit more rough around the edges.
Yeah, but
and they're like, we'll do whatever Jackson
right?
says.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like it's great. I love it. Shout out to Belgium. I hear it's fun. And shout out to Melbourne.
Yes.
Aussies.
Hello, Elk and Steve.
So fun. I love it. So, all right, we're getting close to the end. Let's wrap up. I got maybe a couple more questions.
I'm here. Yeah.
Love it.
You're taking me offline. This is good. Even though we'll be listening to this online, currently we're sitting in nature and it's beautiful.
Nice little break from the editing day. What would you say was one insight or realization you had that helped you
I know what you're thinking.
No, I don't know what
No,
you're...
I know.
no.
I'm thinking of something.
Oh my God, I'm doing it again. Start from scratch.
Okay. One thing that helped you end up in this sort of niche or change your career, your style, your photography, and help you go into... Now I know what you're thinking.
Yep.
Shout out to...
420.
Love it.
It was such a COVID lifeline. It was bizarre. Yeah, it was post-COVID. I was like, let's just flip the script on this. Why is my personality not matching the work that I do? I had a lot of time off during the 2-3 year period of lockdowns here, and obviously wasn't able to work. So instead I put more thought back into how I'm going to proceed with the next season that comes, whenever that might be. And it really just stemmed from being like personality, that it was just lacking so much. Everything was so muted down and desaturated, and I only ever honed in on the couple and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, what the fuck? I am an extrovert. I am larger than life as an individual, and I'm a freak. I yell a lot. Like, where is the loudness in these photos? And there just was none. So I started shifting people's timelines in order to give me more time. It was a bit lucrative, but I was capitalizing, I suppose, on making sure that the timeline worked for me as much as it did them, just so we could get what they wanted. And it was pretty fault-free, to be honest. They had a good time. I wasn't too invasive, and that's what really changed the game for me. And yeah, medicinal cannabis.
I love it.
It opens up the mind.
I love it. Capitalizing on personality.
Yeah, there's just something you only know so much about a couple. So if you can dig deeper into who they are as people prior, learning that when you meet with them, figuring out their interests, what they do on a day-to-day life, on a Sunday or whatever, you can find venues that are similar to that, and maybe they can meet each other where they had their first date or something soppishly cute like that. I don't know. But really just pivoting from just the one venue, the one smile, the one laugh, the one tear, and just, putting humor into it. That's amazing.
Love it.
Guys, I wish you were privileged enough to hear that, but there was a menu log driver, a delivery driver, just rode past on an electronic scooter, and he was just singing at the top of his lungs. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
That's me. See, that's me. Like,
amazing.
I look like a fucking idiot on a wedding day.
Wow.
And I'm so happy about it.
I love that. I love it. You've been very soft-spoken today, though. I haven't heard you shouting at all. You've been very soft-spoken, very smooth.
Yeah, I got to keep that waveform down.
I love it. I've seen a video actually of you in action while shooting, and everything that was happening was amazing. There was a pile of men on top of a golf buggy, just about able to push forward. But what really struck me was your outfit.
Yeah.
You were there in shorts and a colorful shirt, and like cameras dangling from everywhere. Yeah. And it just looked awesome.
Oh my God, you've got to blend in like a guest. Like, they're the ones that you want to talk to a lot. I mean, at least as an extrovert, I want to blend in like a guest deliberately, so you can appear approachable. Really, just get in with the action. Like, that's you gotta get in there.
Love it.
Right on in there.
That's how I do it as well. I love that. I live by that. Yeah. The action. To do it.
And it's like 30-degree weather most of the time here in Australia. Like, that's fucking hot in the middle of our season. So you best believe I'm wearing next to nothing.
Yeah, you got to. You got to.
And the uglier the shoes, the comfier they are.
It's true.
Just saying.
Here I am in Crocs.
Yeah.
Amazing, Jackson. Wow. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely incredible.
You're all good.
What a legend.
Problem. Very happy to chat.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bizarre. And I feel like hearing my voice back sometimes is a little confronting, but I think I've spoken my truth. Yeah.
We're here on audio only. We're both people that don't really like being in front of the camera, so for now you're just gonna have to listen to us. Sometimes, okay. We can work at it. Okay. We're gonna look into it. We're gonna see if we can do video next time. So,
you're here for a while.
Yeah, I'm here for a while. Let's make it happen.
Jack's got an extended vacay.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Danke schön.
Danke schön.
Hey.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our conversation. I certainly had a lot of fun. I love Jackson. What a legend. If you enjoyed it and you want to support me creating more of those, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe button to help me grow this channel, and check out our sponsor, PickTime. They really do make the best gallery system. Hands down, or hands up. I don't know why it's hands down. Well, whatever. And if you have any questions that you think I should have asked him, or anything you would like us to go deeper in, maybe we can try and dig deeper next time. We might have another one, Also, if you think there's other photographers you would really like me to talk to, please mention some names. I got some exciting ones coming up soon. It's in the works. Can't announce anything yet, but hey, I'd love to do more of those. So just let me know your thoughts. I hope you liked it and stay tuned for the next one. Ciao, ciao.